call yourself, or you go by the moniker of the hood nerd, correct? What's the science behind that, and how does that make you different from everything else that's going on in Oakland right now in the music scene?
As far as I call myself that almost as a poke at the word nerd, and I use it a lot in my music because, for one, just because I wear glasses and opposed to contact lenses, you know what I mean? So people kind of have that stigma, just especially where I grew up at and the things that they did and the things I didn't do. I was automatically a nerd. It wasn't like I was a square, I was a nerd. I was just different things because I didn't do what everybody else was doing. So, you know, I could have 2 or 3 guns in my backpack, but they wouldn't know. I was always a square dude, so I would keep it like that. And I'd rather be that, you know what I mean? But the hood side, of course, just comes from being, you know, from Richmond, being from Oakland, and being from these places where there wasn't a lot of positive things going on. And I'm, you know, from there, I grew up there. That's all I know. That's all the places I lived. So there's a side to me that wakes up and feels like, you know, survival and hunger, and you got to kind of strive to be something better. But then there's a nerd side that does feel like, you know, like technology is dope and things like that I get into that some people might not be involved in. So I try to merge the two.
Is that a backward mentality for people not to embrace what's next? Yeah. Technology is not something you can choose to not believe in. It is. It exists. Yeah. It's here. Is that crazy for people not to want to at least understand how it works, even if they don't want to fully embrace it?
Yeah, to me, it is. It's definitely backwards. I mean, because you got to use it to your advantage. I mean, there's phones, there's cameras, there's internet. I mean, like we live close to Silicon Valley, like in California. I mean, that's just exactly what we do. We come from the technology age and the 3D and just all that type of shit just derives from being kind of from there. The YouTubes and the MySpaces are all located there, so we have to take those things to our advantage. But there are some people who kind of would rather do it the old way, you know, or kind of stuck in the past and don't want to evolve. So that's definitely it.
Now, you're a self-produced artist. How does that technology filter into how you produce, and how does it aid you in that?
Everything. I mean, everything I do is laptop and internet. And, you know what I mean? I'm looking for a sample of something, you know, go on the internet, pull it down, dump it in the program and make a beat, upload that beat, email it to somebody. Like, it's just nothing but technology. It's not like it was 10, 15 years ago. You know what I mean? Making music is simple.
Do you prefer to be in the booth with somebody if it's a collaboration, or would you rather email the track to them and get it back with the verse on it?
Depending on who it is, but for the most part, I like to be 100% like around the process. I'm kind of like a control freak, for lack of a better word. Like, I gotta just kind of be around the creation and see what people are doing with the music. Because you give it to somebody and they come back and the song is terrible, it's kind of like my fault. So I just sent it off to them and didn't let them, you know what I mean, didn't have any input on it.
How has the bass sound progressed over the past few years? You've always had a kind of indie bubble kind of thing going where it's not aligned with mainstream, but that sound hasn't remained stagnant. What have been some of the changes in recent years?
Some of the changes, I think, after the hyphy thing died, people kind of took it more serious to make more mainstream acceptable type music, and they kind of stopped playing. Like, I mean, in my opinion, I think they saw that it wasn't going to work to be a gimmick or to be super indie or super grimy or super whatever. So you eventually have to grow up. Everybody has to grow up and not necessarily put on a suit and do like a song and dance, but you do have to make more mature music the older you get. You can't be 35 and making music for 15-year-olds. Like, it just doesn't really cross over well to the masses. So
you'd like to think that, but we got a lot of 35-year-olds making music for 15-year-olds.
You do, but the people that have longevity in the game, the Outcasts, the Jay-Z's, the Eminems, they make mature music for a mature audience, and then the kids still accept to it well and still sell millions. So I'd rather be on that side of the game.
Now, on the contrary, do you think that being in that bubble has allowed your sound to move? Because if you look at Atlanta or you look at some of the places, even New York, their sound hasn't moved much in the past few years, and they have been retreading a lot of productions. In Atlanta, it's the hey, in New York, it's, you know, similar things. You know, oh, you know, has that bubble out west protected you from that stagnance?
In a way, I mean, I kind of feel like that bubble keeps other artists like myself who, you know, are in the Bay. We kind of almost don't belong in that bubble as well. So we kind of free roaming, like artists looking for, I guess, to create our own bubble and to create our own type of music. But we do embrace everything kind of West Coast. So we listen to everything. Our radio station plays everything, East Coast, West Coast, South. So we kind of have just so many like different genres of music we like. We try to create our own bubble and create our own lane. So I don't think it's hurt us at all, though. But
when's the last time you were disappointed in rap or disappointed in a song?
Disappointed in a song.
And it don't have to be yours.
Day.
Okay.
I'm disappointed every day. Every day I hear something or watch something on the internet, or you know, I'm looking at my favorite hip-hop sites and I'm always disappointed, like, but I'm always excited too, so it goes both ways. But every day I'm like, this is crazy, like, this is not what I thought, you know, it was going to be like. This is not the music I thought I was going to hear. Like, this doesn't inspire anybody to do anything. Like, it's not talking about nothing. So yeah, it's at least every day, once a day.
What's the perfect mistake?
The perfect mistake is the hood nerd. It's being perfectly flawed, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, God made us all the way that we're supposed to be, and even when people perceive you to be something that you're not or something differently, like you're still where you're supposed to be, like perfectly, like to me.
What's the proudest you've ever been of your music?
Proudest I've been is with my single, the Right Here single, hit #1 in the Bay Area. And that was probably a proud moment for me and just for the Bay Area to see that, you know, it wasn't a gimmick or wasn't like a weird thing that happened. It was like people really liked the music and they requested it and took it to the top. So that was a proud moment for me.
You always hear a lot of times of people say, you know, the end is coming, these are the last days on, like, you know, 2012 stuff. Would you like to be around for the last day? And if you were around and you knew it was coming, what would you do on that last day?
Pray. That's it. I don't know if I would want to be around, but if I knew it was coming, I'll just pray, be with the kids and the family, people that I really love and love me, and we just pray, sit around, chill, and talk about good times, but mostly pray.
I hear that. What does family mean to you?
Everything. Everything. I wanted to get back to, you know, I guess the way families used to be. You know, when we were kids, I think a lot of families have kind of changed. There's no more weekend barbecues and things like it used to be. So I think one of my goals is to get family back to where it used to be, especially my family.